In this video, we're going to look at ChemPoint Professional. ChemPoint Professional is an environmental data management application for the Windows desktop. It stores data in either Microsoft Access or Microsoft SQL Server or Microsoft SQL Server Express databases. And Express is the free version, limited feature of Microsoft SQL Server. To select the database, you can go from the File menu and choose Select Database, and you can choose Access or SQL Server. Here I have the Microsoft Access sample database that comes with the program. And I am in the Facility Selection view, which allows me to select my facility. There's no limit to the number of facilities that you can have in a database. I'm going to select the example facility. The next view down is the facility data tree. If you think about it, environmental data is hierarchical. You have sampling dates, and for each date you have sampling locations. For each location you have sampling containers, and for each container you have the chemical parameters that you have analyzed. In the facility data tree, you can view that hierarchy. You can do it by sampling dates, sampling locations, or the chemical parameters themselves. I can right-click on any of the items and edit the data. Here's my sampling date, my location data, and my container. The next view down is the dates and locations. At the top is my sampling dates, and at the bottom are my sampling locations. I can double-click any item to edit the data. The next view down is the facility parameters. These are the parameters that have been analyzed at my facility. If you import your data, you don't normally have to mess around in this area, but you might want to change your preferred units or add a compliance limit. Also note that you can specify valence and atomic weight. This comes up in some of the graphs that use those parameters. The next view down is parameter groups. In this case, I don't have any parameter groups. This view is only used if you're going to enter your data manually. The same is true of the sampling event. This view is only used if you're going to enter your data manually. Ideally, you will want to import all of your data from a laboratory. That will be shown how to do in another video. Also, there is the post-analysis view, which again, you really only use if you're going to enter your data manually, but you can view your data here. You select your sampling date, and here is your collection date. These are your containers. And then for each container, you can see in the grid which parameters were analyzed, and you can go in and make changes to the values. The ones highlighted in yellow have been detected, and the white ones are non-detect. ChemPoint has its own built-in reporting system, which is very convenient. This is in the reports view, and on the reports menu, you can choose which report you would like. For example, here is all of the data organized by date and location. I can also see a grid for a single sampling location. I can right-click and I can select various options for the report. I can choose which location, and I can also select fonts and colors. I also might want to do a single date report, which shows all the data for a single sampling date. ChemPoint also produces some simple well diagrams, and you have numerous options for how you want these diagrams to display. There's different variations on the diagram. Most of these options are available from the right-click menu. You can also do contouring in ChemPoint Professional, and there is another video with more details on how to do contouring. And finally, there are a number of graphs in ChemPoint Professional, 12 to be specific. You choose them from the graph menu. Here, note that for the time series graph, I have multiple graphs, and I can access them by scrolling down. I can see all of my graphs on a page by going to Print Preview. I can set my options from the right-click menu. For example, from Page Setup, I can set my layout of how many rows and columns I want. If I choose 2 rows and 1 column, when I go to print the graph, I will get 2 graphs on a page. One of the most important things that you will want to learn to do is to import data from your laboratory. You do that from the File menu and select Import. Here are your various import options. For laboratory data, you typically use the Universal Importer. This allows you to import data from Microsoft Excel, DBase, or text files. There are other videos on how to do this. These are the different formats that are supported. And that's pretty much it. That is the introduction to ChemPoint Professional. Be sure to look for other videos on specific topics to learn more about those topics.